Good evening, everyone. So welcome to this week's One Image My Edit. And tonight I'm going to be showing you how to use the Radial tool in Adobe Lightroom. So this is a tool that's really simple to use, but it's really powerful. It's a selection tool. It enables you to make selections on obviously on your picture, but you can then create custom edits down using these tools here, which I'm going to get to in a minute. So I'm using the latest version of Lightroom 2020, okay, Lightroom Classic, and all I've got here is just a simple product image. So I'm just gonna zoom in, and here we go. So I'm just using the Control and Plus just to zoom in. You can also use these up here. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you the effects that you can do, the different effects you can use with this filter. So you simply click on it, okay, and you can see there it says new, it comes up, and you've got effect here, and at the minute it says custom. If you click on that, you can then select any of these. So these are all the different adjustments that you can select. Now you don't have to stick with one. For instance, if I click on texture here, you can see it automatically, it's preset to go to +25, but I can adjust that. How I find the best way to use this is to if you just move things around, it then goes back to custom. So that means that you can decide exactly what you want to do. So you don't have to go in and specifically say you want to change contrast. That's just a quick way of doing it. I always use this as a custom tool because it's just a lot easier to use. So let me show you what this can do. So all I'm going to do is click and drag, okay, and you can see there that circle has been created. Now if I come down to the bottom down here, it says show selected mask overlay. If I click on that, it's going to come up in red, and that is the mask. So that's the area that's going to be adjusted to whatever we do afterwards. But if we scroll down, we can see that we've got down all the way down here, we can see that we've got feather, and we've got a thing called invert. So if we click on that invert, then everything else is going to be affected except for the area in the middle. Now if we click that on, we can then feather this, and what feather means is that if we make an adjustment, it's going to feather and blend into the image. And if we have it at 0, then that's going to be quite a strong adjustment. Okay, and you're probably going to end up seeing the adjustment just as it is. So what you can also do is click on the squares there. You can see as I hover around, it gives me the option to move. I can also go in and out, and I can go up. So I can pretty much get whatever shape I want. Okay, it's just a case of just moving it around. And then if we go to the middle, the little hand appears, and that means that we can move this around. So it's really good. So I'm going to select an area just at the front of the trainer where there is almost a little bit of a shadow there being created. So what I can now do is take this overlay, this mask overlay off, and then come up to my adjustment. And I can, like I said previously, I can choose whatever adjustment I want. So in this instance, I'm just going to go to the exposure. I'm going to bring it down to half a stop, so 0.50. Okay. Now I can just simply click done, and that will be done. That adjustment is now done. But what's really clever is that if you click back on the radial filter, you can see this little gray circle appears. If you click on that, it means that you can go back and we can adjust this after. So this is known as non-destructive because it means you can go back at a later date and change it. So if I click on new, this is now going to enable me to create a new adjustment. So I can then say, okay, I want to darken this section here as well. So I'm going to bring that into there. Now at the minute, I can't see what I'm doing. I can't see where that area is because I've got the show selected mask overlay off. If I click on it, it will show me. Okay, you don't have to have that on. You can do it by eye, just by making the adjustment there. Okay, see that's just gone a little bit darker there. Okay, so I'm just going to do that. If I click on new, that means that I can continue to the next one. So if we come to, say, this section here, if I draw a shape that's going to fit within that area there, we can do other stuff as well. We don't have to just do the exposure. We can do whatever we want. And in fact, you can do multiple adjustments. You don't have to just stick to one. So if we go to, say, highlights, we can push the highlights or bring the highlights back down, and we could bring the shadows up within that area. So you don't have to stick to one adjustment, and we could add a little bit of clarity, so to say, done. So there's lots you can do with this. Now, one of the other great features of this is having the ability to change colors as well. So you can use the brush tool, which is for another video. But if we look, say, on this area here, we can, if we wanted to, we could come in here and we could start changing the color of things. Now, I'm not going to do it on the black area. I'll probably do it on the background afterwards, because if we start to move these hues around, you can see all that's going to do is just add a color, and it's not going to really benefit the black areas any better. So let's just play around and darken this area here. And this is what generally I would do when doing anything like this. Is I'm just looking for the areas that are dark, because I want to make them darker so that the image then becomes a bit more three-dimensional. So let's push this in here. Okay, and I'm just following the shadow line here. Can you see it? That's running across the bottom. So I'll go to there. I'm just going to bring the exposure down. Here we go. And let's do another one. So new. And let's select this area up here. And again, I can change the shape just so it fits in that area a little bit more. There we go. And let's just make that a little bit darker. And of course, we can also emphasize the bright areas as well if we want to. So we could click on new and then select an area that we want to actually bring out some of the highlights and some of the details. If you make a mistake like that, just press backspace and it will delete. So if you make a mistake like this one here, just press backspace and that will delete it. So this one, let's go to the highlights and just push the highlights up a little bit. And again, we can extend that as well after we've made that adjustment, which is really, really handy. Let's just bring some of the shadows up. There we go. So if we come back out, we can start to see now that we're starting to build this up slightly. So if I press the Y key, which is the before and after, you can see that they're just small minor adjustments that I'm making, but it makes a big difference, especially when you're doing things like product photography, macro stuff. It just gives you a little bit more control. And you can see here, look, this section is just slightly darker. We've got a little bit more of a nice highlight here. This is darkened down here. And this area is starting to dark down as well, and here as well. And of course, along that line there that we selected earlier. So, you know, we could spend a long time just going in and refining and, oops, sorry. And I hope you're not drinking. Just to help you, you know, really refine the whole image and just make it pop a little bit more. Spending the time doing this will really benefit your images. So let's do another adjustment across here, and let's this time let's bring the exposure up slightly. Okay, now when you're pushing the exposure, you've got to be careful that you don't overexpose. So to check that, you can click on this little show highlight clipping. If you click on there, anything that is overexposed will start to come up red. So that means that's 100% pure white. So as long as we don't see any red areas, we're good to go. So that's fine. Okay. So let's come back out. Right. So this time I'm going to make another adjustment. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over the whole of the image. So I'm just going to make a big circle here. Okay. And I'm going to actually just go a little bit higher up there. And a little bit wider. I'm going to give myself a little bit more room, I think. So going for more of an oval shape. There we go. Apologies, my mouse is playing up. Let me come back to 25. There we go. Okay. So now if I come down to here and click on the invert tool, And if I select the show selected mask overlay, you can see there, look what happened. So when invert is selected, it means the inside area is going to be adjusted. If I click on that, then the outside area is going to be adjusted. And that's what's really, really cool with this filter, because if I take the show selected mask overlay off, so we can actually just see what we're doing, if we come up to, say, the hue, which is the colors, we can start playing around with this. So we can really, really mess around and start having lots of fun. We can mess around with the saturation. We can do lots and lots of things. We could even, for instance, play around with the color temperatures. So say we want to add something a little bit funky, we could just bring in some color there, and then we can change it just by moving this around here. So you can see the different effects you can get. And if you click on use fine adjustment, it means that you can just click and drag, and it's gonna, you can see these numbers are going ever so slowly now. It just means you can really start to refine the actual color and find the exact color you want. And then you can simply boost the saturation up just to make it a little bit more punchy. Now let's go for something that's a little bit more blue. So I'm going to bring this tint down a little bit. I'm going to go for a blue, and there is a million more ways you can do this. There is loads and loads of ways you can change color within Lightroom, but this is just a really quick and easy method. So let's go for, yeah, I think like a blue would work actually with this. Okay, or even a red. Red's quite nice as well. Let's go for a blue. I think the blue works. Usually works with product photography. So let's also make sure that when we're doing this, that that the feather is high, because what that's going to do, if I show you now, it's going to blend. It's going to blend that in, and that actually looks like now it's backlit, doesn't it? But if I go back, so if I click on the radial filter and go back to that adjustment, which is not that one, so you just need to find it. It's here somewhere. Where's it gone? 1 second, let me come back out, see if I can find it. It's this one here, I believe. Or not. Okay, where's it gone? There it is. So if we go the other way and actually bring the feather right down, you'll see that we end up there with more of a solid grade. So again, that would look pretty cool in product photography as well. That's done quite a lot as well, just to make something pop out. And then the product details are down here, and the price and things like that. So that's done quite a lot. But personally, I actually prefer the feathered look. I think it looks really, really nice. It looks like then it's actually a light rather than you know, something that's been done within Lightroom or Photoshop. So again, just finding where this filter is, that can be the tricky part sometimes. I think it's which one was it? It's this one there. Okay, so push that back up there so we get a nice blend. It's okay, and then we can just use the crop tool just to come in a little bit, just to really give a little bit more impact to the shot. There we go. So okay, so if we look at that there, you know, that's quite an interesting image. If I press the Y key, you can see the before and after there of what we've done just by using that one tool. So the reason why I'm showing you this is just to let you know that, you know, this is a tool that's really, really powerful, and the options are endless on this. When you click on this, you can see here you've got all the different settings in which you can, if I click on that, you know, all of these different settings that you can use to refine your image. And this is used a lot for, like I say, products, landscapes, portraits. It's just a real simple and easy way of selecting specific areas within your image and then making adjustments. And what is really, really good with this is that, like I said earlier, it's non-destructive. So if we make a mistake, we can literally come back and change it afterwards. So if we don't want it to be light there, want it to be dark, we can. Just press done. And there we go, we've changed it. So it's really simple, really easy to use. So I suggest that you have a play around with this tool, because it's something that can really help your images, and it's so simple to use. So now I'm just doing just a general play. just to make things a little bit darker, a little bit more punchier. There we go. And I would probably end up working this area a little bit more, but yeah, that's it. That's as easy as it gets. So that is the Radial tool within Lightroom. And like I said, it's really easy to use. Go and use it, make it part of your workflow, and see how you get on. So post your images up, let me have a look, see what you've been doing using that filter, and good luck with that. So I hope you've enjoyed that. I'll see you next week for the next one image my edit. Take care.